Hello and welcome back to Coach's Corner. This is September's edition of Coach's Corner, and in this episode, we're going to talk about closing out 2021. So, there's two ways we can talk about our year. We can talk January to December and what each kind of month means, but it's also important for us to always keep an eye on where we are in the financial tax year. So, the financial tax years work April to April, and at the time of me filming this is the 2021 to 2022 tax year, and we have just passed October. So passing October just means we've just passed a halfway point. And like with anything you do, the halfway point's always a chance to sit back, reflect, and just to make sure we're still on track. So what I mean by that, you should be, as you go into a financial tax year, you should be setting yourself goals for that period. You should be setting yourself financial goals, business goals, development goals. And it's all well and good doing that in month one, which for us is April. But when you're 6 months in, you can quickly have like a snapshot of what's going good, what's going well, and actually are you on track to achieving these goals, especially the financial goals. So what you should do, I'm going to give you some tips of what you should do right now, as in how to reflect, and then what to do going forward. So first of all, how to reflect. Now, we should all be tracking everything. And whenever I'm doing my courses, one of the biggest areas of the course is how to track and the importance of tracking. And what I mean is tracking your income, your delivered sessions, just everything about your to-do list and being organized. All of that plays a big part in running a business. So what you should do is just look at all your tracking sheets, all your lead generation sheets, and just kind of see where you are. First of all, 6 month point financially, if you carry on and repeat the last 6 months, are you going to hit your target? It's as simple as that. If you're for easy maths, let's just say your financial target is to make £4,000 a month, so over 12 months, that'll be £48,000 a year. Are you on track to make £48,000 a year? At this point, you should have already developed and you should already brought in 24,000 in revenue. Never mind expenses, gym rent, and all that stuff. Just basic of, have you brought in £24,000 of revenue so far? If the answer is no, then you know what you need to make up the final 6 months. And it's very important that we get into these details as quick as possible. And I always say about being self-employed, so being self-employed is about, well, one of the areas about being self-employed is catching yourself before you fall. So with our industry, with our type of job, we don't have like one big playing client. We have like lots of clients, online programming, lots going on, people coming in and leaving our business all the time. So with that there's always lots of moving parts within our business. So it's important you constantly stay on track of where you are, so you don't suddenly, let's say you get to March next year, realise you've only brought in £40,000 revenue, so you're £8,000 off your target. There's nothing you can do about it. You've got 1 month left, you're not going to hit that target. Potentially you're not going to hit that yearly target you set yourself. So being self-employed is about always reflecting, always looking, and just making sure you're tracking the right way, and if you're making sure you're kind of on track, you're going the right way, you're making progression. And if there is a little dip, you catch it while it's a little dip before it becomes you're going into the negative, if that makes sense. So the first thing you need to do is track your numbers, look financially where you are. And if you're not on track, you just got to then make a bigger plan for what you can do the back end of the year, and then just like look at why you're not on track. Throughout these episodes, a big part of our life at the moment was living with COVID, and I like to think we're all over that now. We've all adapted to that now, and that's no longer an excuse. You could have had that as a tiny bit of an excuse last year in the 2020-2021 tax year, but in this year, you just got to move on from it. You can't keep having that as an excuse to affect your business, because all these tax years, all the finance you submit, that's going to be the bigger picture of if you want to buy a house one day, or your general living and well-being. So you can't just keep letting COVID be an issue. So hopefully, I don't think anyone's thinking like that, but you can't be using COVID as an excuse right now. It's always, what can you do differently, what can you do better, what do you need to do now to kind of get to where you want to be. So track everything. And you should literally be going through all your spreadsheets. If you don't get a spreadsheet, if you don't have a spreadsheet, you can message me and I'll send you one. But track all your spreadsheets or just check with your spreadsheet, sorry, and just see and just make sure financially you're on track of where you want to be. Development wise, let's say you've set yourself goals of launching an online program, writing an online course, releasing an ebook. How far away are you off doing those goals? Launching a podcast, launching a YouTube channel. Have you even started them yet? If that was your goal to do within the business financial year of April to April, are you on track to hitting that? And if you're not, then again, you're looking at making a plan. Okay, so that kind of leads me on to the next section. So we've got Q3 of the financial tax year is October, November, December, and it's also the final quarter of the actual year leading up to closing out 2021. So with closing out 2021, things to think about. Firstly, is December's a mixed month. You won't be delivering sessions in December. I always see December as a 2-week month. You got the first 2 weeks of silly season where everyone will be going out. There'll be work parties everywhere, and then the last 2 weeks of December you should really be looking to take off yourself. There won't be many people in the gym, and you should be looking to take that as your break, and then set up for January and just have your focus as January. So it still counts as a quarter, still 3 months, but you've got to be aware that December, you need to have a better plan for October, November, December, because December is only a 2-week month, and it's not exactly a PT renewal month. It's not exactly a new sale PT month. It's more of you'll get your renewals in, your regular clients, your regular renewals, but it's not a big uplift. So what you should really be focused on is having a big October, a monster November, and then for me, December's all about activity leading to January. So what I tend to do in December is get all my sales in for January, all my online programming sales in for January, and then whilst I'm not delivering PT sessions, I'm writing my programs, I'm starting to get people ready and set up for January. And there'll be more about that in December's episode of Coach's Corner. I'm just looking at my whiteboard up there. I've got the schedule of what's coming up. So in this episode, we're talking about closing out the year. In October, we've got an interview process of how to apply for a job. November's all about Black Friday. December's all about shutting down for Christmas. So we've got some good Coach's Corner episodes coming up. But back to this one. So you should be looking at, okay, where am I currently at 6 months in? The initial plan for the next 3 months for Q3. How much do you need to make to get you back on track? And what is your actual plan? Make sure you fully plan out the next 3 months with a campaign strategy of right, this is what I'm going to do in the final weeks of October. November, I'm going to launch this as a getting fit for Christmas, the final push to finish the year strong, however you want to word it. But make sure you have a big launch of something in November ready to close the year out, because that'll just set you up for success. And also make sure you have a monster November to cover you for December, and then build your client base ready for January. if all that makes sense. So sit down, reflect to where you have been, and then make a solid plan for this quarter. It's all about just going into detail. The more you know, the more you track, the more you can measure, right? It's just that you do the same with training. You'll track and measure everything so you can make adjustments. You need to keep doing that with your business, and the 6 month point is the perfect time to do that. So some focus points is know all the detail, like I just said. Come up with a lead generation plan. Like, look at where your client base is. If your target is to deliver 20 sessions a week, go back over the next 6 months and make sure you've been doing 80 sessions a month. If that was your target. If you've had months of 70s, 60s, 77s, 72s or lower, you might go, okay, this is where my issue is. So for the next 6 months, I now need to creep this up to 22 sessions a week, 24 sessions a week to get my numbers back on track. Yeah, so look at all those details and then create a lead generation plan to see exactly how many clients you need to kind of hit your quarter target for this for Q3, and then go and put that into practice, right? Go and actually live it. And then finally, closing out the year, what's going to be your focus to closing out the year? You should have a focus month by month, but we should work in quarters. And if you're looking to make, you should have a campaign, like you can put it as this, you can have a campaign focus per quarter, so January's easy, the Q4 of the financial year, January, February, March, that's easy. That's all about, launching yourself and getting reset in the starting the new year strong. That's the easiest kind of campaign that everybody launches. Then you've got people getting ready for summer. So the quarter we've just had is all about routine and getting back to it. And then this final quarter of the year is all about finishing the year strong. So you want to kind of set yourself a campaign per quarter, and then try to get people and try to get new clients and push people towards that campaign. And that's what you should do now. So take some time, maybe this weekend, and go over all your maths, check where you are, and then think what is your campaign to finish 2021. Okay. So just quite a short episode. I hope you found some bits in there useful. If the whole point of these episodes, if I just jump on, I just kind of have a little chat, I'll share some knowledge with you, and hopefully you can take one or two things away. And if you can, then it's been worth listening to, right? If you don't track stuff in detail, you won't catch yourself before you fall. You might, the biggest ones what always happens is, let's say you have clients that do 2 or 3 sessions a week. You tend to lose one of them, then you lose another one a week later, then you lose another one. All of a sudden you've lost like 9 sessions, and then you've not really catch yourself. You think things are going well, and then you just took a massive dive, and then it's quite hard to recover from that dive initially. And if you've not been lead genning and planning ahead, that's when it can catch up on you. So that's what I mean by always catch yourself before you fall, catch yourself before something goes wrong. And that's just what you need to do when you're running a self-employed business. And even if you're an employed PT model, that process still applies. You've got to, even though you work for a gym, you're still running your own business, but within the gym, for the gym almost. So have a plan to close out the year on what you want to focus on next 3 months, and go hit it and make sure you finish the year strong. And when you look at your 6-month numbers, it really doesn't matter where you are. If you are miles behind, you can't do anything about it now. All you can do is plan ahead. All you can do is try to have the best Q3 and Q4 of the financial year and kind of make those numbers back up. That's all you can do. The biggest thing ever is having a quick mindset change, staying positive, and just focusing quarter by quarter. So we're just starting this quarter. Just make sure you have a monster October, November, December. Finish this year as strong as you can financially and business wise, and have your business in a good place, because that will just mean you'll carry great momentum into 2022, and you have a strong start to January. All the work you do now will set you up for January. So the lead generation that you can do in November, because you might not get new clients start up in December. You can. There's obviously people do sign up in December, but realistically, the way you got to approach it is lead gen galore throughout October, November. Get people onto your packs, get people onto your programs, because they'll do those in the final months of the year, and then they're the people that will renew in January. And I'm going to talk about what to do in December in a later episode, but you just want to be, when you go into January, you don't want to be getting new clients. You want to be focusing on upselling to people you've met in the past, all the hard work you've done in October, November. So January you come in with lots of momentum, a full client base, and you just hit the ground running. So the next 2 months, October, November, are massively important for your business, and you finish the year strong, you'll feel good, and you'll go into 2022 full of positive momentum. Right, good. So I hope you found this useful. I did go on a little bit down in the end, but hopefully you found it useful. One thing I've got coming up that might be interesting to some people is on Sunday, 24th October at 11 a.m. I'm going to go live. I'm going to do my first YouTube live video with Adam Kent. He's been on the podcast quite a few times before. He's a master trainer at Virgin Active and a PT manager there. And we're going to talk all things about recruitment and what to do if you want to apply to work in another gym. Because wherever you're working now might be a good fit for you right now, but then in the future you might want to move on. And we're going to talk about kind of some of the things he does when people apply for Virgin and the employed model and what they look for. I'm going to talk about the Gymbox recruitment process and how we run recruitment days. And it's not a plug for Gymbox or Virgin Active. It's just recruitment days in general and things to and some do's and don'ts, so we say. So we're going to do do's and don'ts, a few funny stories, and then how to best prepare. Because like I say, the gym you're in at the moment might be great, but you might, eventually, after 2-3 years, you might want to move to the city, move somewhere else, try a new gym. So you're going to have to go through this process again, and we're going to just give you a live YouTube video for you to ask questions as we're chatting along, and also some knowledge of like what we go through and some tips on recruitment days, because you can't really find out anything like that, so we thought we'd make a video for it. So that's on Sunday 24th at 11 a.m. So keep an eye on all my channels, and if you are looking for a job, that's a good one to watch live, and hopefully you can take some good stuff from that. Right guys, that's me. That's it for Coach's Corner this month. If you've got any questions about what I said, please reach out. I've got a little plug that I'm going to talk about. I do have mentoring sessions available. So I have a full mentoring package, which is quite intense. My mentoring package is quite intense because there's a lot to it, and that's the purpose. It's probably the most efficient way you can build your PT business and fully plug any holes you've got in building a PT business. I've laid out the process in such a great way. It will give you everything you need to go from zero to a successful PT. So I've got this full mentorship process that involves online, as a blend of online learning and one-to-one sessions, as well as like weekly accountability checks. All that will be in a link below. But alongside that, I've also put together one-off mentoring sessions. Now what these are if you've got a specific problem that needs solving, you can just buy a one-off session. And it's basically like buying a PT session. So we'll meet up somewhere in London, or if you're not in London, we can do this via Zoom and just have a FaceTime like this. But it'll just be a 1 hour session where we sit down and I solve a problem for you. That could be you're struggling with floor walking, you're struggling with a MASH, you don't know how to pay tax, you want help programming, you don't know how to use online software, and we'll go through all that together. So that is just a one-off session where I solve a problem for you, and you've got to think of it like a PT session. You'll just be booking in for one of those. And if I can solve your problem for a price of a PT session, then you're laughing, right? So I've got that, and then I've got my full mentorship program, which I put a lot of love in. I put a lot of time and effort into that, and that's a great program, and that will get you fully set up. But I've got 2 options available. Should you watch this and then have questions afterwards, that's a good way you can go. But if you do have questions, fire them over. I will do my best to answer them as quick as I can. And yeah, let's have a good quarter, guys. Let's finish this 2021 strong, because I'm really looking forward to 2022. Life will be fully back to normal in 2022, I think. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, big 3 months ahead, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the live broadcast. I'll see you then.